Vitaly is back in trouble, this time with a potential career-destroying lawsuit on the horizon after a severe mess-up. We're going to do that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So as you guys may know, we are no stranger to Vitaly Zordovetsky. We had covered him in his nuisance streaming in the Philippines. This is at the same time as Johnny Somali was going on in Korea. Nuisance streaming was a huge problem, and we were really pushing for the maximum punishment there. Well, Vitaly is out of jail, and it was released very recently, and it seems he did not learn his lesson because he's in trouble yet again. And this time, we're going to talk about the plaintiff, Akash Singhania. He was falsely accused of a heinous crime, and because of that and the liability that Vitaly has incurred, this may end his career and end his streaming altogether. So let's get to my opening statement. So Vitaly was released from the Philippines in January 2026 after serving approximately 290 days, about 9 to 10 months, for harassing individuals in Manila and Bonifacio Global City. Now, Vitaly, as soon as he went out, people were wondering which way he was going to go. I was speculating, was he reformed or not? Well, he went right back to his old content, and one of the things he went right back to was his predator catching videos. Now, the problem with the predator catching videos is that their focus is more on humiliation than generating clips from that humiliation than actual serious law enforcement. These people were not being routinely handed over to law enforcement. They were not getting criminal charges. It was really just to generate clicks and views, and they weren't going through the same rigor that you go through as part of a criminal investigation. And as you can see, this led to a very horrible situation.
What do you mean? So she got the guys. Stop. Okay. What do you mean by wrong text messages?
Okay,
just
wait,
explain.
Okay, look.
Well, yeah, let me hear your side of the story. Everybody gets to speak.
Okay, yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So, okay.
But Gabe, I asked you, bro. Please.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm gonna just show you everything one by one. Okay.
But you are Indian, so you are smart. So you probably cheated the system.
No, but for Indian,
bro, again in the middle of me talking, bro. I asked you guys. Holy. Just perfectly, like I was getting a perfect farm clip, and then somebody had to. Okay, I don't.
See, he only really cares. See, in that, number one, he's insulting them. He's using derogatory language. But beyond that, Vitaly is even saying, as he does this thing where he messed up, that he really only cares about the clips. He really only cares about making the content. And in this, it was a horrible mistake. And here you have Vitaly admitting that mistake.
We wrongfully identified and accused Akash Singhania as a child predator. We were completely wrong, and we made a terrible mistake. We believe here in only telling the truth, nothing but the truth. And our team and I messed up. We're deeply sorry to Akash. I'm so sorry, and I made a full statement on one of my social media posts on X and Instagram. You can guys go check it out. And Akash Singhania, I'm very sorry. This mistake will never happen again. We messed up, and guys, whoever has those videos, the clippers that are watching this, please delete it, okay? Immediately. I need you guys to delete it. I feel horrible, yeah, this was very, yeah. This is never gonna happen. The Snapchat messages got messed up. It was a wrong time, wrong place, and yeah.
Well, it's never going to happen again because he may never be on the internet again. Huge, massive error and massive liability on his part, messing this individual up. And here's the statement from Akash. Akash said, "My world was turned upside down this weekend. As some of you may have seen, I was featured on a recent episode of Vitaly Zordovetsky's live series when I was wrongfully portrayed as someone attempting to engage in inappropriate conduct. This accusation is completely false. Since then, Vitaly has publicly acknowledged through both written and video statements that this was a mistake. Additionally, the officers from the Santa Ana Police Department, who I called to the scene, conducted their own assessment and confirmed that I was innocent of any wrongdoing. I am sincerely grateful to Officers Ronald Gastion, Lorenzo Sanchez, and Joanna Hatzistratiao for their professionalism and for taking the time to carefully evaluate the situation and establish the truth. While I appreciate that the mistake has been acknowledged, the impact of the false accusation has been significant. again. I have experienced harassment, judgment, and damage to my personal and professional relationships based on something that has now been proven false. So when I first saw this, full stop there for a second, I said, this is lawsuit language. This is him holding out on liability, saying, hey, I'm acknowledging the apology, but that doesn't mean you don't have any liability, and doesn't mean there wasn't damage. So he still held back that there were damages, and this was harmful to him. As you heard, even with Vitaly, it gets out there to Clippers, it gets out there all over the internet. Once this thing has been put out there, there's no way to put the genie back in the bottle especially when you're a channel as large as that Vitaly's, it's getting clipped and passed around, to actually get all those things removed from the internet. It's very difficult, time consuming, and it's already been done. The damage has already been done. So lastly, it says, I wholeheartedly support efforts to expose real wrongdoing and protect the vulnerable. At the same time, this experience has shown me how important due process and verification are, because mistakes, when made publicly, can have serious consequences on innocent lives. Thank you for those who supported me during this process. And that's the exact thing that's lacking when you look at Vitaly versus law enforcement. You really don't have those due process rights. They're not going through proper verification, vetting, etc. They're just doing it as quickly as possible and trying to generate these scenarios as quick as possible for clips and content, because their goal is humiliation, not actual criminal process. And Akash went on and confirmed later that day that he actually has retained one of the best defamation lawyers in the country. Rumor has it, it's the same one that represented Johnny Depp. Combine that with complete and total cooperation from the police department regarding my innocence, I'm feeling pretty good about the position I'm in despite the effed situation. Let's see what happens. So he is primed and ready to go, and I think because of how bad this was and how this clip got everywhere, and the size of Vitaly, the reach of Vitaly, the potential liability is massive. And one thing that makes it even worse is that this is not the first time he's done this and kind of had a mistake or a mistaken identity. Asian Andy posted a clip on his account where he actually calls somebody Asian Andy even though it's not. Let's watch that clip.
Working. I'm not really fully paying attention to your text, and then I verified, and I was trying to call you. That's why I didn't want to.
You called me, and you just called me to say you didn't see my car, and then you said you've seen it, and you walked right out.
I didn't even want to take you there. I just want to talk to you in the car first.
I'm assuming your name is Asian Andy?
Watch, look, let's read it out.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
My number, you kept begging.
See, he's saying who's Asian Andy. So once again, you're getting this out there, and then people like, for example, the real Asian Andy have people attacking them, calling them names, saying horrible things about them. What this shows is a pattern of reckless disregard for the truth, of recklessness, negligence. It shows that he really doesn't care. So when you put these instances together where Vitaly is really not doing the due diligence he needs to be doing to do this, it makes a super strong case for Akash, saying, hey, look, he's done this before. He's made mistakes before. He's been reckless with this. And this is not something you can be reckless about when you're going to be going through these public humiliation rituals, making clips, going out and saying this in front of a bunch of people and trying to humiliate them publicly, trying to destroy their reputation, their business, their friendships, their contacts, etc. over this. This is something that is completely unacceptable. And the good news is that Kick found this unacceptable as well, because Vitaly has been banned off Kick again. Remember, after his criminal behavior in the Philippines, he was indeed banned off of Kick, and now he has been banned once again. And now a lot of people have commented on this, and I agree with the Asmongold take on this, which is he should be banned permanently. And I take an angle that is purely legal as liability. I've been corporate counsel for a very long time and advising corporations on risks versus benefits, liabilities. Vitaly is a liability. He's been banned multiple times, and this time it's for something super serious. This is something where the website absolutely can be dragged into the lawsuit. Absolutely there can be, questions that are asked. It gets very uncomfortable for them. They don't want to have to deal with a liability like Vitaly, who keeps doing reckless things with no regard for the truth. This is something they shouldn't be involved with, and they should keep him off of that platform. Now, we don't know whether they will make this temporary or permanent, but my ruling here, as we move to my judgment, is they should. So let's talk about my judgment. Akash has one of the strongest cases I have ever seen for clear defamation per se. He can also throw in the invasion of privacy counts, which is sometimes false light as well, and even intentional infliction of emotional distress, because how bad this was and because it was streamed in front of so many people where the intent was to humiliate for profit. Akash, when you're looking at the numbers, how much could he get? Easily, he can settle for $500,000, $500K. But I think this thing is $1 million lawsuit. I think because of Vitaly's size, because of his reach, because of his repeated behavior, because of his pattern of just bad behavior in general, including back to the Philippines, I think pushing for $1 million settlement would not be out of the realm of possibility for Akash going against Vitaly. And I think he indeed should take every penny he can from Vitaly. Vitaly in general is a liability, and Kick and all other platforms that he attempts to go to should keep him off, keep him banned, and understand there's a reason why these people, once they've shown themselves who they are and they've made their mistakes repeatedly, should be kept off the platform. But I want to know what you guys think about Vitaly, and I will catch you on the next one.